What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 130 of Two Deuces Sports News. As always, my name is Garrett here, my co-host,
What I do, that's Jalen Prince.
Super Bowl contender Jalen Prince.
Yeah.
We're going to get into Super Bowl previews a little bit. First, we got to go through the normal things. Hit us up on YouTube at Two Deuces Sports News, at TDSN Pod on Twitter, TikTok, all those fun places like that. We record these live. If you're listening back on this, whatever platform you're listening to, we record these live. You can chime in wherever you want. Comment over on YouTube. That's where we're going to get some of the most interaction. If you guys want to comment over there, we like what you say, or if you make a valid point, we'll talk about it, or we'll just ignore it. But it's worth a shot. Let me turn my little light up here. There we go. Oh, we can see me. Sorry, a bit of a switch up in the.
I'm gonna have to get you a ring light, Emma.
I get a little ring light on my camera. It's okay. We'll get all the. I ain't worried about it right now. Let's go into it.
You need a big one. Like we go down to Walmart, get you one
I
for
need
about $5.99.
Industrial lights, just one on each corner, like photography studio lights, just pointed right at me.
We're gonna have to do with the ring lights as we go. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to get you the. I'm just gonna have to send you the money to be able to get those two ring lights.
I ain't worried about a ring light right now. I'm still working on the office setup. We'll get all that figured out later. Let's go into it, man.
Right.
We got a Super Bowl preview we want to get to before we get into anything. Is the Super Bowl is tomorrow, as of recording this, on February 7th, 2026. And I'll be honest, man, I think y'all got it.
I think we do too. Obviously, I'm confident in my team, but I think listening to Radio Row during Super Bowl week, media days, talking to different Patriots fans, one of them who I work with, this game is going to be a whole lot better than what a lot of people expect. I don't expect a blowout. I expect my team to win, but I think this game is going to be really good. Simply because of the talent on both sides, the matchups on inside and outside, and the coaching matchup as well. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of headlines. For example, the top two coaches that were in for Coach of the Year, and we'll talk about the awards a little bit later on, and Mike Vrabel and Mike McDonald. Is going to be one heck of a matchup. Now, they're both defensive-minded coaches, so Mike Vrabel most likely against Clint Kubiak, but that's another question because he's going to be taking the Las Vegas Raiders job, and then you got Mike McDonald going against Josh McCown, who Josh McCown just received the Assistant Coach of the Year award. Now, that one, and again, we'll go about these awards a little bit later on, but overall, the matchup to me, I think the most important matchup, and I get it, it's easy to say JSN, Jackson Smith in Jigba. That's how you say it. Jackson Smith in Jigba, but we ain't gonna get into that. Besides the matchup between JSN and Christian Gonzalez, to me, I think it's more it's the most important matchup to me is going to be Anthony Bradford and the interior offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks versus Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, and that interior of the New England Patriots front. Because we got to be able to run the ball because we got to have balance going against the New England Patriots team because they're going to try to do everything they can to take away JSN and most likely try to shut down Cooper Kupp. So if we're able to run the ball effectively, now it's going to be important on how Clint Kubiak is going to call the game or like what the game plan is or how the scheme is going to be run. Ran, and then tie that into what the Patriots are going to do and how they're going to manage the run game as well. Because Spleen is back, for them to be able to like do what we do, where we love to be a nickel, but when you got a guy like Nick Worry, who was robbed of Defensive Rookie of the Year, to a certain degree. I don't care what the votes are.
I knew that was coming.
When you got a guy like that, he opens up the versatility for your defense to be able to play like a light box and still be able to defend the run as well as they do. The other key factor is going to be our tight ends against their linebackers or against their edge rusher because we have some of the best blocking tight ends in football that can set the edge. But on them edges, you got Anthony Jennings and I forgot who's on the other side, but you got some really good edge players for that New England's defense, so it shouldn't be no surprise there. The other matchups is going to be Will Campbell, the rookie left tackle for the Patriots, going against either DeMarcus Lawrence, Boye Mafe, or Derek Hall. That's all gonna be depending on just matchups in general. So those are the matchups I'm definitely gonna be paying attention a whole lot more. it's easy to say JSN versus Gonzo, Sam Darnold versus the New England defense as a whole, as well as Drake May going against the dark side. There's so many things to look at in this matchup. That's why I say this is going to be a really good Super Bowl. But let me get on my petty side. To see so much Seahawks stuff in Santa Clara and in Levi Stadium, home of the Niners, it does my heart good. But what does tomorrow mean the absolute most? I'll tell you what it means. Seattle wins the Super Bowl tomorrow. We completed the greatest redemption story in the history of the NFL, possibly in the history of sports, in multitude of ways. For Sam Darnold, his whole career has been a redemption, especially on this season. You win the Super Bowl, can't nobody tell you nothing. Whether they want to doubt you or not, can't nobody tell you nothing. The only conversation that's going to be left to him is where you're going to rank him as far as the top quarterbacks, and we'll have that conversation hopefully either later on after the Super Bowl or sometime next week. But that's neither here nor there. The other redemption is the Seattle Seahawks franchise. We have not been to the Super Bowl. It's been 11 years. Last time we were there, it was in Arizona. We know how that ended against that same franchise. There is no Belichick. There's no Brady. There's no Russell. There's no Beast Mode. There's nobody from that era of that Super Bowl is on these teams now. Nobody. And now we're talking about like a new generation, a new era, because we know the potential as far as with the Patriots, what it would mean for them, but for the Seahawks, what it means to be able to complete one of the greatest seasons of all time because of how you got to the Super Bowl. Like first off, you won your division in Week 18 against your arch rival in that same area, in that same stadium, and then 2 weeks later, after you secured the bye and the division, you beat the crap out of them again, and then you play after and mind you, around that time you kept losing to the Niners for a long time before you got Mike McDonald. Then fast forward to the NFC Championship game, you go against your nemesis, Sam Darnold's kryptonite in the LA Rams. Not only did he not turn the ball over, he played spectacular, and he was one of the biggest reasons we are in the Super Bowl today. So there's a lot of different outcomes. There's a lot of different storylines. There's so much things going into the Super Bowl. I'm excited for, but the matchup is going to be in that interior. That's going to be the defining factor, and obviously, like neither quarterback can turn the ball over. So we're going to see that. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think the biggest question for me is who's going to be the first team to turn to a one-dimensional offense. I feel like whoever the first team to go one-dimensional is going to lose this game. Both teams have strong rushing attacks. Both teams have strong passing attacks. And like most offenses, they feed off each other. And in almost every offense, and no matter what level of competition you have, except maybe high school, the second you get one-dimensional, the game will tend to be over. Unless this is, CFB 26 online dynasty, whatever it may be. Like in reality, once you become one-dimensional, you tend to lose the game. And or it keeps it closer anyways. I think that the first team to become one-dimensional, whether that be the rushing attack gets stopped or the passing attack gets stopped, most likely to be the rushing attack, will lose this game. So I think you're right. I think the battle is in the trenches. I think the battle is in the secondary and seeing who can cover who. But I think in reality, whoever's run game is stopped first is cooked. So we'll see how well this goes. But
you remember our dog Mark Gunnels?
I do.
And shout out to Mark. He kept posting a lot on his Twitter and social media page about like there's no buzz for on this Super Bowl. There's no hype to it. And I'm like, that's y'all's problem. And I get that the Chiefs are not in the Super Bowl. We get all that, but that's y'all's problem.
I got a buddy who's a Chiefs
I don't
fan.
know what y'all paying attention to. And I get it. Seattle's in the Pacific Northwest, but if you want to talk about hype, dog, you're talking about a rematch of 11 years ago that pretty much changed the whole trajectory. And again, we're going. And again, I'm not spoiling my what ifs, but it has something to do with that. Dog, I'm excited, and it still hasn't hit me. It still doesn't feel real that we're actually in the Super Bowl. But to get the chance to win that Super Bowl in that stadium, home of our arch rival, against the team that got Sam Darnold to see ghosts early on in his career, and that was the team that we lost the Super Bowl to 11 years ago. You can't make up a bigger redemption story than this, not only for Sam Darnold but for the entire Seahawks franchise.
For sure.
Who you got?
I got Seattle. I got you guys in this.
I mean, you already know. You already know.
If you say New England, we're
I'm not going New England. Obviously, you know I'm picking Seattle.
well, does the hat or the jersey give it away?
Shoot, I thought it was the mask that I got on my door. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a fight. I already know it's gonna be a fight.
This isn't gonna be like Denver and Carolina a couple years ago. Like this is going to be a fight.
It's gonna be a chess match through and through. I'm just hoping that we're gonna be able to run the ball. K9's been running it like crazy. But that's only because we was able to get and gain some leverage. But the front for New England is tough, and I get it. A lot of people want to talk about their schedule has not been that strong. But shoot, you got to beat who you got to beat, and they survived this. They survived the blizzard in Denver, albeit who against. But this is the best team that they're going to face all playoffs. Like I get where Houston was. It would like Will Anderson, and you know how I feel about the Terminator, and Daniil Hunter. But I've always taken Seattle's defense over Houston's. Like it never mattered to me. And I think we're going to be able to get pressure on on Drake May. My only thing is like we got to be able to stop the run and keep that consistent. So we're going to see. I'm just hoping that we're going to be able to keep like the same pressure on Will Campbell that's been going on throughout the entire playoffs because dog he has not been having a good playoffs as of late.
Nope. And I guarantee you guys are going to exploit that. I guarantee it. But let's move on, man. Let's talk about some NFL honors real quick. Because there,
a lot of controversy. Here are
the winners. MVP went to Stafford. DPOY went to Myles Garrett. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Carson Schwarzenegger. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Coach of the Year went to Vrabel. Don't love that, but I get it. Offensive Player of the Year went to JSN. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Ted McMillan. Comeback Player of the Year went to McCaffrey. And then Protector of the Year for the first time ever, it's the new inaugural award, went to Joe Thuney.
Agreed. Look, I'm glad we're giving like something for the heck nah. Giving something for the offensive line that worked their butt off. Heck yeah. Not to mention it builds up their legacy and their resume for the Hall of Fame. And again, that's a conversation we'll get into another time. We'll get into soon.
We'll get into it in a couple minutes. I'm not mad about any of these awards. I wish Cohen had won Coach of the Year, but I get it because Vrabel took his team to the Super Bowl. Makes sense. When I knew we were out in the first round, I knew we were winning Coach of the Year. So I get it. Vrabel, I get. Thuney, I get. McCaffrey, I get. Tet, I get. JSN, I get. Schwarzenegger, don't love it, but I get it. Myles Garrett, if you don't get it, I can't help you.
There was no debate
Myles Garrett, I can't help you.
There was no debate there.
MVP.
Talk about
I'm not mad that Stafford won it. I thought Stafford was the MVP. Here's my problem. Because the voting breakdown happened. And there's a gentleman in the AFC West who made an appearance. If man Justin Herbert strikes again. For those of you who don't know, they broke down the voting of the MVP awards. Stafford won, I think it was 24. Stafford had 24. Drake May had 23. Josh Allen had 2. And Justin Herbert had 1. And some of you may look at that list of names and realize someone doesn't belong there. And it would be Justin Herbert. Listen, I'm not saying Herbert's a bad quarterback by any stretch. I'm not saying that. I am saying that even as a Jags fan who is on record on this show, probably saying and giving a lot of excuses for Trevor Lawrence, like I get it to a degree, but this is insane. I'm not mad that Trevor didn't get MVP votes. I'm mad that Herbert did because it doesn't make any sense. He had an awful season, and I will give him credit for having not a great offensive line. But we found out who for the one Justin Herbert vote. And Monson, and I'm going to read you his reasoning for it, says, I was a Justin Herbert vote. The guy had the worst offensive line in the NFL all season, and despite that, he was working miracles in almost every game. Both statements are false. He did not have the worst line of the offensive line. Bottom 5 for sure, but it was not the worst objectively. And he said he embodied value. MVP is the single hardest award to correctly determine because the focus is on value, which is basically impossible to objectively evaluate with so many dependencies. No. But the idea that one vote, this is the one part where I actually agree with him, because there are people who are saying that the vote for Justin Herbert is the reason why Drake May did not win. I don't know if y'all know how to do math. 23 plus 1 is still 24. Therefore, it's 24 and 24. He needed 2 votes to win it, not 2 votes, or not 1 vote to win it. So I agree with him on this. I will give him his credit for this. His vote did not alter Drake May's legacy. That is stupid. I will give him that. He said more people than not thought each candidate did not deserve to win MVP this year, according to the voters. There was not one clear MVP who was robbed of the award. Most people were torn between 2 deserving candidates. I thought a third deserved it as well, because the value he brought to his situation was immense. Yeah, it is actively not just the best player. And that's the issue. Like it or not, and I don't like it, value is an intrinsic part of the award. It is the focus of the award, and there is no consensus definition or quantification of that. I have one, and Jalen, I think you might agree with me. I just want to point at the hypocrisy, because this also came up shortly after this happened. A year or so ago, I think it was last year, he says that same gentleman says MVP should be the best, or just be best player. Football has distorted the value, so now it can't be anything other than a QB, really, which I don't think is true. But he said it should be the best player. And then he says he still believes this, but that's not what the award currently is. If you still believe it, then why did you not vote for the best player?
Because it's not exactly the person that he wanted. If we're being honest with you.
And that's my thing. Like, again, I have never seen a man get more excuses than Justin Herbert. Ever.
Maybe
I've
not
never seen it.
in the NFL. But
no.
Josh Allen's giving them a run for his money.
I'll give you that.
Josh Allen is giving them a run for his money. But for the reason why
I feel like Josh gets a pass is because Josh makes the playoffs. I don't think Herbert has ever won a playoff game. I want to look at this man's playoff records. I don't think he's ever won a playoff game. Yeah, he's 0-3 in playoff games. So you're 0-3, yet you're somehow the best. You're the best player in the league. Like I with all due respect to Sam, I vehemently disagree with you on this. Like Herbert should not even be in the consideration. If you want to talk about best player or team or player that brought the most value to the team, the way I view that is look at the overall record and look at what they do when he's not on the field. Yep. The best way to see that was when Lamar Jackson went out and Tyler Huntley had to take over, and their offense scored almost 14 points less total per game without Lamar in. Like, and we saw. Go ahead. Sorry, I've been monologuing.
Look, it's one thing as far as with the vote, and obviously you're going to have New England fans that believe it should have been Drake May. And there's cases for it, and there's cases against it. Same thing with Matthew Stafford. Because remember, at the beginning of the season, it was Matthew Stafford. It felt like it was Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, and Baker fell off. And then it was just like Matthew Stafford by himself. Then Drake May came along. And then, Matthew, and it felt like Stafford teetered a little bit. Now, he had that Thursday night great game where he threw over 500 yards. That kind of widen the gap a little bit, but then he had bad losses like the Falcons, and it kind of fell off to a certain degree. Now the difference between the case with Drake May and Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford had Puka, and Puka was an offensive player of the year candidate. Drake May had him. Now Stephon Diggs is not the same Diggs that he's been in years past, but he's still productive. But he didn't do what Puka did. Same thing with Kayshon Boutte and Hunter Henry. Like Stafford had Puka, and Puka's all pro. Like Drake May didn't have none of that. No. And he was still able to produce as much as he did. No, but if they want to go the schedule route, then I can see that as well. Look, it's a whole big headache, but that's not even my biggest issue. My biggest issue is the defensive rookie of the year. I don't know why. And I get it. We went over our limit, but I just got
No, we're not there yet. We're good. We got a couple minutes still.
I don't know why the NFL or the voters has a problem with any of the defensive players that reside in Seattle, because this happened the last 3 seasons. Now, Tariq Woolen, Devon Witherspoon, and now Nick Eamon Ward. Devin Witherspoon lost it to Will Anderson. No, you ain't get no argument from me, but like the numbers could have told the whole story. Again, I love Will Anderson. He's a Terminator. He's my favorite. He's my favorite defensive player. So again, you get no argument from me on that one. Tariq, I don't remember. Hold on, let me see. Let me see real quick.
Well, like I want to be clear. I'm not mad that, and I don't think Sam's vote kept or ruined Drake May's legacy. Completely agree with him on that. I just could not disagree more with his vote, and I couldn't disagree more with his reasoning. That's just where I'm at with it. What are you trying to pull up?
Who won Defensive Rookie of the Year? Year Tariq Woolen was
rookie.
Yeah.
I got you.
Already got it.
Rookie was 2022.
Sauce.
Lost
to the Sauce. Okay, yeah. Sauce played out of his mind. Runner-up was Aiden Hutchinson at the time. Tariq finished third. So again, I'm not saying that Tariq got.
You can't be mad at that one.
I can't be mad at that one. Devin Witherspoon, I can make a case. This year, come on, man. Even social media was saying it should have been Nick Eamon Ward. I get the points and I get the whole tackle. I get the whole tackles thing, but the impact on defense compared to the Browns. Outside of Myles Garrett, you cannot convince me that Browns defense was better than Seattle. You just can't.
I'll give you that.
And I give you, they have tremendous talent on that side, and the winning is not their fault. They just had quarterback issues at the yin yang. But at the same time, Seattle had productive. You got a guy who can cover anything that moves. You got a guy that can hit anything that moves. You got a guy that will make plays left and right. Not saying that Carson can't. And he's earned it to a certain degree. I felt like Nick Eamon Ward earned it more because of the defense that he was on, and he's one of the reasons why the defense has a chance, is going to the Super Bowl. Carson was not that. So it is what it is. But that was my biggest issue. I'm just glad they didn't rob JSN of the offensive player of the year.
Jason would get
because the way it seemed like it's always a problem when it comes to when Seattle finally has a player for one of these awards. Because again, to me, Mike Macdonald's the coach of the year. I understand what Mike Vrabel has done with the Patriots, given the weaponry and what they were like last season when they were 4-13. But if you look at what Mike Macdonald has done and who he's done it against, he's in a division that has Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. He got hired to beat them, and guess what? He beat them and won that division against them jokers. The only ones that the Patriots had to worry about was Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, and McDermott is gone. And I get the whole storyline with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots and what they did. And it's been a tremendous season for head coaches in general, because there's a lot of jokers that was making the case. Your guy Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, the season that he did with all the injuries. But to me, this season was Mike Macdonald because of what he's done with the defense, the team as a unit, and almost every single metric during the preseason has Seattle ranked 4th in the division behind the freaking Cardinals. And now we were the number 1 seed, division champs, NFC champions, and we're in the Super Bowl. Now, again, same case with the Patriots with Mike Vrabel. I get all that. But it should have been Mike Macdonald, because Mike Vrabel did that with Drake. Did that with Drake May. We did it with Sam Darnold, that nobody believed in.
tell you, Minnesota's hating it right now.
That's a whole nother mess.
That's a whole other conversation.
Pull up that award sheet again. I want to make
sure. Saying, then we got to move on to the next one.
Yeah, but there's another conversation that needs to be had. Come back. Not gonna argue with it again. Nobody's gonna debate Defensive Player of the Year. Nobody. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, Ted played that. Ted played good. He's gonna be good for Panthers for a long time. And Bryce Young. But another conversation that we want. First off, congratulations to this year's class of 2026 in the Hall of Fame. You got Larry Fitzgerald. Literally the only thing the only thing respectable about the Arizona Cardinals that's the only reason why I ever gave a crap about the Cardinals was because of Larry Legend. That's number one. Congrats to him. Drew Brees is Jesus. Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Famer. Congratulations. Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. According to Deion Sanders, Roger Craig should have been there a long time ago. So that's neither here nor there. Dog, it feels weird seeing Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Adam Vinatieri, and Luke Kuechly all in the Hall of Fame. We grew up watching them jokers. So it feels so weird seeing that, like, man, they're going into Hall of Fame. Like, we up there in age. But that's not the biggest storyline when it comes to the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame has been about Bill Belichick. And I know we talked about it last episode, but still, like, he didn't get in the first ballot. Robert Kraft is not getting in first ballot. Now speculation is going to be Tom Brady's not going to get in first ballot. I got a huge problem. I got a major problem with that. But they ain't nothing we could do. But like I think you're about to mention what I was going to mention.
They've already announced that they're going to revamp the voting for next year in light of Kraft and Belichick not getting in the first round. They're going to revamp the metrics for what it needs to be because everybody agrees. Yeah. Whether you hate maybe those pictures he took on the beach with his girlfriend. I don't know.
It don't even matter to this point, man. The Hall of Fame is supposed to be about your resume and what you did. Now, if you kill somebody, that's a different story. If you done something so drastic, I get it, different story. That's why I'm saying, dog. Ooh, man, I wish we would have put up the list who's eligible for the Hall of Fame right now.
We'll talk about next.
No, bump that. I'm pulling it now. Okay. Like, we go to the next topic while we go to the next topic.
NBA's not going to take too long. NBA's not going to take too long. You looking for the Hall of Fame class 2020? You're looking at 2027.
Yep.
I got you. I'll pull it up for you.
I got it.
First year eligibles: Gronk, Adrian Peterson, Ben Roethlisberger, Richard Sherman, Cam Newton, Antonio Brown, Andrew Whitworth, and Alex Mack. So is Le'Veon Bell, Joe Hayden, Malcolm Jenkins, Eric Weddle, and Gerald McCoy. Is that
also real quick?
What's up?
Also, real quick. So the guys that were first ballot, we mentioned Drew Brees, Luke Kuechly, Larry Legend. The other guy we got to think. Hold on. The other guy that we got to think about. The other guy that we got to look at. Earl Thomas is still eligible for the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning, he's not going to be first ballot, which everybody knew.
Eli's going to make it in before Earl is.
Eli's still eligible. Earl Thomas is eligible. Beast Mode is still eligible. Clay Matthews, Terrell Suggs, Joe Staley, Vernon Davis, Akeem Talib, Ryan Khalil, and Marshall Yanda. Those are a couple of names that are still eligible to be in the Hall of Fame going into the next season. Now you got the list for the ones that are eligible now.
I got you. Hold on. I was looking for new inductees. I will also say that Deion Sanders is actively advocating for Fred Taylor to be in the Hall of Fame, arguing he was better than several current members, calling the selection process inconsistent, which I completely agree about. Fred Taylor should absolutely be in it. But you want the full...
By the way, we're not sponsored by DraftKings. This is just an image we're going to use, but we would love to be sponsored by DraftKings. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, this is the list that's going to be eligible for the 2027. On this list, real quick, we'll have a quick debate, then we got to move on.
There's a grainy list there, my guy.
What you mean?
I'm just messing with you. That is a very pixelated list.
Jesus.
Sherm is not going to be first ballot.
Yeah.
AP will be first ballot. Gronk will be first ballot. Antonio Brown may not even get in.
Do you think with AP real quick? Do you think they're gonna hold that situation with
No,
his son?
no,
Okay.
I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I don't think everybody remembers it. I think Gronk and AP get in first ballot. Ben will
Yeah,
not get in first ballot. Antonio Brown will not get in first ballot. Alex Mack might. Weddle won't be first ballot. Whitworth might be first ballot. Cam,
Whitworth is he's a coin flip. I think he can.
Cam won't be first ballot.
Cam won't be
Cam will get
first
in, but
ballot,
he
but
won't be first ballot.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Who'll get in?
He's a Hall of Famer. Like
Le'Veon ain't gonna be first ballot either.
Argue with your mama. He's a Hall of Famer, dog.
Le'Veon won't be first ballot either. That's not gonna happen.
We know, but dog.
So let's jump right into some NBA trade deadline moves because it was an insane. What's up?
Antonio Brown, real quick.
Antonio Brown's not getting that.
No. You know how I feel. Julio,
you want the screen yourself? Here, let me give it.
Mind you, I am a huge Julio Jones fan, and to me, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's no debate there. And it was in that era of Julio Jones versus Antonio Brown as who were the best receivers in football of the 2010s. And I will always down that hill that Julio Jones was the top receiver. I understand what Antonio Brown did during this, but that was Julio Jones. But Antonio Brown was great. That run he had. And I think about that. And I just wonder, is he going to get like his resume? We mentioned the Hall of Fame should be about the resume, but the antics that he did with the league, the people, the relationships that he broke during that late time after, and we know where it started with Vontaze Burfict. We get all that, but bruh, I'm not even joking, dog.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I'm forever going to believe in the man curse.
AB, I don't think AB gets in. And I think it's so like, yes, he had an incredible run, but I think that stretch at the end, that is a legendary fall off.
Dog.
That is a
and I said he
legendary fall off.
And I said, like, after he dipped at that Jets game, I'm like, you can't come back.
No, that is.
And I said that might have cost him the Hall of Fame, but dog, his resume, that run that he had, even in Tampa, even for like those 2 short games in New England, but like that run that he had with the Bucks with Tom Brady and them, I'm like, oh, he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Will he get in? Probably not, because of the antics and everything that happened outside of football, and heck, even inside of football.
Mm-hmm.
But dog, that run that he was on, it wasn't
questioned.
It was great. He was an all-time great on that one. Now, I always took Julio Jones over him, but I never took anybody else over AB. It was always Julio and AB during that 2010s. And I get D-Hop. I get D-Hop and everybody else. It was Julio and it was AB, and AB was special, man. And the fact that we're having a debate because it's off the field and it was so massive that you can't ignore, I hate it for him. All right, now
I hear you. But we got to move on. So NBA trade deadline is not going to take too much time, I feel like, so we can make up some time on that one.
Yep.
We've got the list of all the player trades. We're not going to break down trade by trade and who has what pick and whatever. That's going to take too much time. Trae Young and Anthony Davis are now in Washington. They're still not going to win more than 50 games a year. James Harden's in Cleveland. Darius Garland is that's in the Clippers. That's right. Darius Garland's over in the Clippers now. Chris Middleton and Marvin Bagley are over in Dallas. Kuminga and Buddy Hield are in Atlanta. Old Tingus Pingus is down in over in Golden State. My Celtics got Vucevic. Anthony Simons is now with the Bulls. Ayo Dosunmu is in Minnesota. Dennis Schroeder is in Cleveland. I didn't know he was still in the league.
I did.
That's how I felt.
I did.
I was talking to my buddy a day or two ago because Dante Exum was part of a trade package. And I was like, man, I'll be honest, I didn't realize my 2K12 rival was still in the league. Do you remember that? Where they had him be your rival in 2K? Was it 12 or was it 13? It was like 12, 13, 14. One of those 3 was Dante Exum was your rival. CJ McCollum is in Atlanta. DeAndre Hunter is now in Sacramento. Jaden Ivey is in Chicago. Kevin Huter is in Detroit. Kobe White is now in Charlotte. Colin Sexton is in Chicago. Ochai Agbaji, hopefully I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. He's in Brooklyn. Jared McCain is with your Thunder. Kennard is with the Lakers. Tyus Jones is with Dallas. Didn't know he was still in the league. Zubac is with the Pacers. Benedict Mathurin is with the Clippers. Jaren Jackson Jr., that was a surprise for me, is now with the Jazz. So the Jazz have Jaren Jackson Jr. That's a lot of J's for you. And Jose Alvarado is with the Knicks. Jalen, who do you think won the trade deadline? Who are some of your winners? Who are some of your losers for the trade deadline?
I think Washington Wizards are winners. Not for this season, but definitely for next season. Trae Young, AD, and the moves that they made, Bills for next season. I think Atlanta's confusing to me. I mean, I want to say they're winners because you got both Buddy Hield and you got Jonathan Kuminga. So I think those guys are. I think like my Hawks are winners as well. I can also say Charlotte, and I can say the Bulls. You get you got 2 scoring guards.
Mm-hmm.
Losers, Sacramento. Clippers, definitely Clippers. Even though they got Darius Garland, but still, what you got like for Zubac, and I get it. I haven't watched a ton of NBA because I've been so focused on football and work and stuff like that. But like, what you got, and
I think the Cavs did well too.
I think the Cavs did well. Thunder got a steal in Jared McCain. There's a lot of Sixers fans that are upset with that trade, and a lot of NBA fans that are upset that like somebody traded with the Thunder because like
I'm not mad at Memphis either.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Memphis. I'm not mad at Memphis at all because Jaren Jackson Jr. was going to demand
they got to go through a rebuild
contract.
They got to go through a rebuild, and I think Ja's next in the offseason. Same thing with Giannis in the offseason. I think those guys are gone.
Yeah, Ja's next, but I like what Memphis did. Yeah. I like that they were able to offload Jackson before he's going to demand a maximum contract.
Yeah, I think that's
so. I can. Yeah, I can respect that.
I think that's well, let me ask you this: which team do you feel like? Which team do you feel like out of this trade deadline is going to make the biggest impact on this season alone? Because to me, I think Washington season is kaput.
Washington season is done. Yeah,
they're building for next year. To me, it's I as much as I want to say, I really want to say Atlanta, but some in my gut is 2 teams. One, Kevin Huerter going to Detroit, the way they're playing, and you're getting another surefire 3-point shooter, so that's always going to be a plus. I gotta go Charlotte because they're on 8. They're the hottest team in the NBA right now. They're on an 8-game winning streak. At this moment, you get a Kobe White, who's another versatile guard who could come off the bench because you already got Melo and them starting. So you get Kobe White to come off to be able to give you a spark. And they're playing together, man. Like that's a fun team to watch in Charlotte. So I think Kobe White can possibly be a big impact. I think Luke Kennard for the Lakers, and I hated that we traded with the Lakers for with Luke Kennard because dude was getting hot. He was shooting 44% from 3 this year.
Defensively,
and I don't want to get no Lakers. I don't want to get no Lakers Lakers.
No.
Shooter.
Defensively, I don't love the Vucevic trade, but offensively, I absolutely do because he's a big man who can stretch the floor. Not super well, but he can stretch the floor, so I can respect that. I think it'd be a nice change of pace for him. I definitely agree with you on Atlanta's decision. I definitely agree with you on Detroit. I think Cleveland also made a good move. To this day, I will continue to question what is Dallas doing. What is Dallas doing?
Yeah.
What is Dallas doing? All right. We got to move on. We got some what if scenarios.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. I've got one. I've got one. You've got one.
Go ahead and do yours first.
If Trevor.
Hold on. We got to do this right.
Oh, you got the music going? Okay.
Yo,
hold on.
Got to. Which one did we say we was gonna do? Like, which one's gonna be the what if like music for?
I don't remember.
I remember.
Here's my question: if Trevor Lawrence plays like he did on the back half of the season since the Houston loss, and has that dominant streak that he had, and is able to build off what he did going into this season, and have 3 to 4 total turnovers. So we're talking probably under 10 turnovers in the entire season. We're looking at well over 40 total touchdowns. Is he a front runner for MVP next year? And is he finally shedding the bust label?
Not bad. Here's mine, and it's quite simple. Super Bowl's tomorrow. It's Seahawks versus Patriots. Obviously, you know where I'm going. You know the jersey number that I'm wearing. You know the team. You know my team. My biggest what if for this episode, in honor of the Super Bowl. What if we would have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch?
There it is.
11 years ago, we had a very great position. Russell Wilson throws like a 30-something yard ball to Jermaine Kearse. Would have been catch of the year in that Super Bowl. To get us there, we gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the first time on there to be able to get us down to the 2. But Pete Carroll, Daryl Bevell had other plans. They wanted to go and throw the ball. Malcolm Butler made a tremendous play and lives in Super Bowl infamy for years. And then we know what happened after that. A lot of deterioration. We haven't been back to the Super Bowl since. A lot of guys got older and was let go. Legion of Boom departed. Pete Carroll got worse and untrustworthy. Then later on, we traded Russell. We know what. So, like, my biggest what if we would have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch? We would have been back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and God knows what would have happened as far as our trajectory going forward in the NFL as far as like dominance.
I got to quote Marshawn there on that one. We got to give props to Marshawn when that happened. You got to go. That man, after that interception happened, walked over to Pete and laughed in his face. I was packing up my little area at home because I was like, game's over, it's done. It's whatever. Like, it's done. Patriots haven't been able to stop Marshawn all game. It's done. It's whatever. And then I hear Russell Wilson drops back, and you can hear like a question mark in the commentator's voice. I was like, wait, what? Why would you do that? So I don't know. I think, if you guys had just handed the ball to Marshawn, I honestly, Pete Carroll might still be in Seattle, though. That's the thing. Because I don't think the team will be what it is today without it. That's where I think the difference is on that, is I don't think your team would be what it is today. Because if you look at what you got for those picks and everything after that and all the changes that happened, I don't think your team would be exactly what it is today.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd necessarily be right back in there. So the question at that point is, do you trade that Super Bowl for this one?
No.
Exactly.
Because here's the look. One of my best friends. He always says you don't want to change history.
Nope.
Things happen for a reason, but you don't want to change history because like you probably wouldn't be the person or the people that you are now.
Nope.
You probably wouldn't be where we are now. But to be able to like go through the misery, the pain, the sadness, the depression, the fights to be able to get back to this point in its time, it made the journey worthwhile. So,
absolutely.
I wouldn't trade it. It would have been nice, but nah. We have a chance to be able to right wrongs.
Nah, I hear that. All right, man. You got anything else to get into? We're pretty much time.
Nah, let's go ahead.
Let's do it. All right. Well, we ran a little long on one thing, but let's hop right into it. Thank you guys for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you like the show, you know what to do. Go subscribe over on YouTube at TDSN Sports News. Watch the live streams. Put that bell on so you know when we're going live. You can jump in the comments if you do. If you want to go back and look at our catalog of all these things, we will actually address the comments if we see them and read them. Follow us on Twitter at TDSN Pod. That's where you're going to find all the updates for us and everything. You'll see when we go live. The link will be right there. You'll also see what we post later on when the episode goes live on whatever other platform you listen to the show on. Rate 5 stars, comment, all that fun stuff. Feed the algorithm gods. I don't know why it works, but it does. If I knew why it worked, we wouldn't be doing a sports podcast. I'd be fudging algorithms and making us tons and tons and tons of money. It'd be nice. But if you didn't like the show, totally fine. We appreciate the time. We appreciate the 48-ish minutes we've given you. You've given us. We can't give it back to you. We would if we could, but we can't. You go your way, we'll go ours. Nobody's going to leave negative reviews. That doesn't help you, doesn't help us. What you do get, though, if you rate 5 stars, whatever platform it is, and you do follow us, and you do let us know, you get a shout out at the end of the show. You also get a shout out if it's a show that has supported us, and we think that you'll like them as well if you like us. So, shout outs always come at the very end. Always go check out Jim over at Fan of the Van. Him and I are going to get back at Steel and Teal at some point. Go check out Brent over at 1420 Sports. Aaron at Brutally Honest Sports. Darian over at Chill Takes. We're going to get him on soon. Go check out IP Radio. E-Man at Average Sports. Him and Jim do a show called Cigar and Sports. Go check that one out as well. Always go check out Sports After Dark. They've always supported us. We will always continue to support them. Go check out John over Wrestling Fan Insight, whether you are a hardcore wrestling fan or a casual wrestling fan, whatever that may be. Always good information over there. If you're looking to gamble, please be responsible. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Go listen to Nate's Daily Wager, and if you are an NFL player listening to this, do it outside of an NFL facility. Also, maybe off of the Portland Trailblazers team, but that's a different conversation. So thank you, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Peace.